Hello YouTube, insanj here. Today's video is a rundown of just about all the weapons you can think of that are involved in Halo Reach. So let's dive right in. The first weapon is the classic assault rifle. Now this assault rifle is very similar to the weapon it was in Halo 3 and in other Halo games. It's a great spray fire gun that has a very nice rate of fire and a good amount of ammo capacity. Normally if you run into this weapon during the campaign, you're going to have a lot of ammo with it and it's going to last you a long time. Unfortunately, it doesn't do too much damage, but it's a great weapon either way. So let's move into the DMR. Now, the DMR is one of my personal favorite guns just because of its accuracy and how well it is at shooting. It does a good amount of damage and is very comparable to the BR, which is the battle rifle from Halo 3. Now, this has similar properties and similar amount of shots. Normally 3 body shots if the enemy's shield is down. Otherwise, it could take up to 7. So this weapon is definitely a great weapon, especially in the campaign where grunts go flying every time you take it out. A new weapon in Halo Reach, the grenade launcher, is able to shoot grenades pretty far and nicely. If you hold it down, just like with properties you have in the Hornet or whatever, when you shoot it, you get the distance it's going, and if you hold it down, it acts as an EMP that also tracks. Now, of course, now that it's all the way underwater, it doesn't really work anymore. So if I were to shoot a vehicle with it right now, it would power down. So as you can see the distance, and then it says boom when it gets, when it explodes. So now let's move on to the next weapon, the new, I believe it's like 3GR pistol, which is a lot better than the Magnum in Halo 3 and resorts back to Halo 1 and its ancestors. It's similar to the DMR as in it's a precision weapon that is very good at headshots and it can do a lot of damage if you use it correctly. So picking up this weapon is a surefire way to succeed in your path of grunts and campaign just with the DMR. Moving further on, here is the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is very, very similar to the Halo 3 rocket launcher, except it looks a lot better and does a lot more damage. Its properties besides that are relatively the same, so we're just going to move on. The shotgun looks a lot fancier and sexier, however, it's not, again, as much different. When you shoot at the water, as I am now, you can see it shoots about 5 or 6 pellets out, and it does a considerable amount of damage. Of course, the whole shoot and beat down method still works in multiplayer. The new sniper rifle, it looks great and its screen is even better. So now when you zoom in, you can see exactly how far it is and have a lot more accuracy. Besides that, it's relatively the same except for how it looks and how generally it activates. Moving on to the Spartan laser, again it looks relatively the same except it has a flip out which can show you the general area just like the sniper had in Halo 3. It also shows you which one of the cardinal directions you're pointing in. So if I were to aim up right now, you can see the distance and then boom. Alright, so let's keep moving. Of course, the obligatory frag grenades, which look just about the same. They're still uncookable, but now they have a red line that shoots out of the top, so you can see exactly where your grenade is going instead of just throwing it out. The turret, of course, is the same, except it does a lot less damage, and it also has to cool down, just like with all the other turrets in large fire rate guns in the game. Moving on to the concussion rifle, this is somewhat like a mix between a grenade launcher and a rocket launcher. It does a good amount of damage, has a nice fire rate, and can shoot a ton per round. However, you'll notice it doesn't do too much damage in comparison to its big daddy, the rocket launcher. So resort to this when you need to do a lot of damage, but not a huge amount of damage. This is also found a lot with elites in the campaign. The energy sword, it's very, very similar to its Halo 3 ancestor, but it's a lot more... but it looks a lot better, and when you lunge a lot quicker. The fuel rod, it looks a lot better and slimmer, and now you can shoot 5 pellets out, reload nicely, and whip back up. Also, when it's done reloading, you hear a slight beep, letting you know. Moving on, the gravity hammer. Now the gravity hammer again is similar to its Halo 3 ancestor, except as you see the gravity pulse is much larger now. And, of course, you still jump up when you hit it at the ground. Now, this new weapon, the focus rifle, is the beam rifle of Halo Reach. You can still zoom in, but instead of shooting little beam pellets, you're shooting an entire beam. Now, this obviously won't do sniper bullet damage every time you shoot it, but it still is very useful. Of course, it has a burn-out gauge, just like with all the other weapons that can shoot at a considerable fire rate. This is very fun, especially if you're playing multiplayer in the new bottomless clip mode where you never have to reload. The Needler rifle is somewhat of a mix of all of the sniper rifles in the game and with a needler thrown in. It looks a lot better, and you can hold down the shoot button to continue shooting, but your accuracy will obviously grow less and less as you shoot. You also have a nice amount of damage, and you can do just about as much as a DMR. Especially if you shoot a bunch of times to the body, you will make your opponent explode, which is always a fun little effect. The Needler, just like its Halo 3 ancestor, it shoots rapidly and is very fun. The needles are definitely a lot more detailed, and you can do a lot more damage with this gun. In Bottomless Clip, just like the focus rifle, you can have a lot of fun and even get an achievement with it. The Plasma Launcher, one of my favorite guns. Hold it down and you charge up 4 plasma grenades and then shoot them. These, as I said, are like plasma grenades, except they look similar to their Halo 1 ancestor, in which they're more light blue and they're not as glowy. Shooting them is an instant death call if it sticks to anyone, and they're very fun to use in firefight when you're surrounded by grunts or other pesky animals. Moving on, we have the Plasma Pistol, which is just about exactly the same as its ancestors, except now if you're shooting a moving target, it will lock on and follow it for some degree. The Plasma Repeater, it's a very fun gun that is similar to the Needler rifle. It doesn't do too much damage, but its alarming fire rate helps it a lot. Now you notice it doesn't vent on its own. You press a button to vent it, and then you can interrupt it just like with reloading. It's a lot of fun to pop it out, kill some guys with it, and then reload right afterwards and keep marching on. Now, the Plasma Rifle, a favorite of a lot of people who like dual wielding. Unfortunately, dual wielding is no longer available in this game, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and if your enemies don't have that much health, this is an instant kill for them. The bullets, yet again, are a light blue, unlike its ODST variant. Finally, the Spiker, a very fun weapon that does quite a lot of damage and moves at a stellar rate. As you can see, the tip of it gets red as it overheats, but don't worry, you can keep using it till it catches on fire, which of course is a joke, it doesn't actually catch on fire. This does a lot more damage because it is not a dual wheel weapon anymore, but it definitely looks a lot better, so if you find an enemy carrying this around, make sure not to overlook it too quickly because of its Halo 3 companion. Finally, our last weapon, the Plasma Cannon. It's definitely a very fun thing to wield around, and just like the normal turret, it does less damage than you'd think, but it still does a good amount of damage. Again, you have to, let it quiet down before using it continuously, but you can't vent it manually like you can with other guns. It's a very, very fun gun to carry around, and you see it a lot in the campaign. Also, while I'm here, the Plasma Grenade is very similar, as you just saw. You can definitely notice the sphere shape a lot more, and its explode is a lot bigger. So these are all the weapons in Halo Reach that are available in multiplayer and campaign. I really hope you liked these, and you should definitely subscribe to find more Halo Reach videos and more tutorials and videos like it. If you want to see any Forge maps or anything else interesting, make sure to leave comments below, because every day this week I'll be making a video about anything you want. So, I guess that's it for me today. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and, well, have a good week.